Story time. So today we're going to be jumping to a two-part series. The first one is moving to Costa Rica, and the second one we'll be talking about living in Costa Rica. Now today, if you are the one who is trying to move to Costa Rica, but you're feeling all kind of different feelings, you haven't quite decided, you're trying to figure out, now hopefully my story will help you. Because if you're relating to this story, yes, not only would I like to talk to you personally one-on-one, but I want to give you some information that will actually help to say, okay, yeah, these things are normal, even though it could have been a better way. So let's jump into it. So I frantically wanted to move out of Ohio. I really wanted to go, and I didn't know it was going to be Costa Rica, but I just wanted to get the heck out of Dodge, as the saying goes. And so I had a tremendous amount of reasons or why I wanted to leave, but I had no clarity on why and where I wanted to go. And so the first thing that I did was I started, like most of you, I started on Google. I started researching places. The one thing that I wanted to do in my new life was to live in one place warmer. So yes, I wanted to get away from the stress and anxiety, but my new place had to be warmer. It was time for a change. So first on the map, San Diego. Then I hit Texas, Atlanta, and then Florida. Wait, no, I didn't hit Florida. I have my reasons. It was not until a few months later where my aunt had a discussion and said, hey, her retirement place was going to be Costa Rica. And I thought, it'd be cool to live on an island somewhere west of California. Bruh. Let's just say I was very surprised to find out the true location of Costa Rica. So back on the computers, and I started doing my research. Now, keep in mind, this is around 10 years ago. And so I got and started doing my research, and then ring, my job call. It was time to work on another project. And summer came up, and the kids had birthdays, and blah, blah, blah. Life started moving on. And what happened? 6 years passed, and I did not do anything. I kept putting Costa Rica on the back burner, making excuses like when the kids get older or when I get this promotion or if this happens. And honestly, if they were just tons and tons of excuses, and it cost me 6 years and $30,000+ because that well-oiled machine of stress and anxiety was not going to help itself. I had to keep pushing it along and make it work. And this was one of the reasons why I wanted to leave. After 6 years of a no journey, I actually said, now's the time. The opportunity came, project ended, and I could say, A, go find another project and jump onto that and be just as stressed, or take another route, take the road less traveled, and actually see what this Costa Rica thing is all about. So packed up the family, quick 2-week trip to Costa Rica. We got a place in Escazú just to be centralized because I knew I wanted to be near Central Valley. That was what my research told me. Remember, I was looking for a place warm. So it didn't matter about the beaches and things like that. Now, while I'll say I didn't have the best why, I was clear enough to give me enough flexibility. And this is a mistake that many people make. They see the pictures of Costa Rica and think automatically, we're just going to hit straight to the beaches. We're going to hit straight to the rainforest. But I was clear enough to say, hey, I want it warm, I wanted peace, and so that let me be flexible. So I didn't have to live on one beach. I could live centralized and go to many beaches, for example. I didn't actually just have to hit the beaches. I could go to volcanoes, and the airport was closed, and the schools were something that I really saw that were really powerful in Costa Rica, because in Central Valley there was a lot more options. Now, if I would have just picked one isolated beach, then my selection for schools dwindled down very rapidly. So these were the things that I could be flexible on. So took the tour around Central Valley, and then we landed on Gracia. Now, so far, you've learned what it means to really not have a plan and a clear why, what that kind of does to you. It wastes a lot of time. And not having a strong why wastes even more time, because you don't actually have anything motivating you to keep going. And when distractions in life comes in the way, your dreams go out the window. And finally, so far, you'll learn that if you don't have a good flexible why, then you'll pinpoint yourself to a location that maybe you're not going to like in a few months. So it's a good idea to be flexible. And as an extra bonus, a lot of times our goals are so pigeonholed that before we even get to them and know what we really want, we don't realize what we're actually looking for. So yeah, I could have said, I'm looking for a house that look like this and it sits on the beach. But really, out of that house, what was I looking for? I was looking for peace. Even if I wanted to be by the ocean and I think the ocean will give me peace, I'm still looking for peace. And so again, that comes with being flexible, where if you're looking for peace and not just a house, you actually have more options of where you need to be because you just need to find a peaceful place. If you're able to think of the things that bring you peace, it's probably just not the ocean. It's a sum of a lot of other things. And so you have options. The thing that got me most about Gracia was essentially one pivotal moment. We were out getting something to eat. I asked the waitress in my poor Spanish vocabulary, trying, and we were still trying. She wasn't getting upset. She was being very patient. And I was asking her, where are the neighborhoods? Where are the good neighborhoods to, look around at? And she didn't understand me. But the guy behind me spoke English and Spanish. He was a Tico. And he was like, oh, well, let me help. My mom is in the real estate. And the thing that really got me was that it was a young man's grandmother's birthday. And they proceeded to spend 45 minutes talking to me. Now, being from Ohio, people are very nice. Well, can be, so everybody says hi, hi, hi. But I never really ran into anybody that would just drop 45 minutes out of their day on a whim. And so this was actually very unique to me. And so I was like, all right, well, let me pursue more. It really did kind of get me. It meant a lot to me. So we proceeded to go look for houses, actually, because we already had another realtor lined up for the area, because we were really thinking about this could be it for us. And so we ended up finding a home base. Really, it was more than a home base. It was actually more of like a house that you would just stay in forever, which was not a great idea because it was very expensive for the area. And so what we began to do is to move on to the next step, which was to find schools. So had a list off for the internet, and I had to simply throw that list away because the realtor found us a better option for it. The points that I want to make in this is that, yeah, come with a plan, have an idea where you want to go, but be flexible and be open to talk to people. Realtors and the people in the neighborhood and just random people can be very helpful. A lot of times they'll know, and I have a family member who's renting a place. It's actually how I ended up with my next place. It was not through a realtor, but people, and talk to people. People are very friendly. They know different people. They have a sister, cousin, brother, uncle, family member who's renting a house for a good price. And, it's only time. Go look at it, see if you like it. If you don't get it. And the schools, same thing. A lot of people will speak up for schools. They'll say, hey, I went to this, we have a history. My family has history, and I'm a doctor, And so you can find that in public schools, private schools, or whatever. Begin to talk to people. So having the house in the schools, we proceeded to fly back home. And so that meant that, we had to work a plan. Okay, to be really transparent, we needed to make a plan. There was no plan. But I had already made the down payment for the house, and that gave us 6 months. So now I'm on the clock. I got 6 months. I have no job. And so everything that I have is, costing me. So I got expenses with no income, and I did have money that I was saving to go to Costa Rica, but I don't want to dig into that. That was for Costa Rica. So I needed a fast plan to sell everything that I didn't want to bring, and that was just causing me expenses, and I needed to be very thorough about it. For example, I couldn't just sell my house and I had 6 months left without having another location. So what I needed to do was actually make an organized plan with dates, things that actually made sense in order. What I personally used was a Gantt chart, and what it personally did for me was let me see when task 1 ended and that it needed to start task 2. because I couldn't start task 1, 2 together. For example, if I was going to sell my house, I'll keep using that example. I first needed to clean it. I needed to fix any things that a potential buyer would complain about. I needed to make it a little bit more nice and fancy, all the stuff that you do when you sell a house. And it just couldn't happen all in the first week. I needed time to do that. And so I made a plan to actually sell the car, house, clothes, and everything else. And it took some time. And even we got some professional help to actually help in this process. Secondly, what I recommend for everyone is don't try to do this alone. If you don't have friends or family members, because I had people on both sides of the camp. I had good friends who didn't want me to leave, and they weren't willing to kind of essentially help. Same with family members. It was just like, they wanted to help, but it was like, every time they were helping, it was like, you sure you want to go? Do you want to stay here? And they really, truly, honestly love me. I'm sure that everybody has one of those that, they've been where they are forever and they're just trying to convince you and put thoughts in your head to make you stay. I had another set of friends and family, a support group that was like, no, we've never been here, but we traveled enough, or maybe they did or didn't. Some of them did and some of them didn't. But we love you enough to help you push you towards your dream. And so thank God for this set of groups. Thank God for both, but thank God for this set of group of people, because they honestly help keep me going. Because in these times, when you are, working out your plan, this is what happens. This was me. I was like, my plan is working. I'm like, my plan is working. And so because my plan is working, that means I'm getting closer to Costa Rica, which means the questions of, am I making the right decisions? Is this the right time? Everything that delayed me the first time started coming all back up again. And I started making irrational thoughts and maybe sometimes irrational decisions about, what I needed to do. That's why you need a plan. So when your mind starts going crazy and like, we want to keep you safe, be comfortable, stay where you're used to. You got a plan that says keep moving, and you have a support system and a group of people that say, hey, you can do it. So you get what I'm saying? You need to actually have a plan and a support system to actually make this journey. Because most of us haven't traveled the world, and unless you're maybe in the military, you've traveled a lot, moving out of your comfort zone is just that, uncomfortable. You moved out of your comfort zone. If this sounds like you, like I mentioned before, I'll leave a link at the bottom of the video so that you can click on it and actually set up an appointment to talk. So clock is still ticking. Because honestly, no matter if it was 6 months, it was a year, time is honestly never your friend. Because if you're someone like me, you're going to find different things to distract you. And so it becomes, a year later, someone else has a baby. Oh, I should stay for the baby. I should stay for the grandkids. I should stay for the kids. And my parents, this situation changed. Oh, they offered me. You'll find things to distract you if you don't pursue your dreams. And so time wasn't my friend. And I was able to put together a plan that actually got us to Costa Rica. So in next week's video, what we're going to talk about is what it's like to live in Costa Rica, especially the first few months. If you want to know more about moving and living in Costa Rica, check out these 2 videos. I will see you on the other side.